As Islamabad celebrates its honest broker role between Washington and Tehran, is Pakistan now discovering that its Iran gamble comes with a brutal price for its own citizens in the Gulf? If a key Arab ally of the U.S. and Israel is deporting thousands of Shia Pakistani families at once, does this mark a quiet message to Islamabad about how far its Iran outreach can really go? And with an $8 billion remittance lifeline on the line, is the UAE's sudden hardening toward Pakistani workers just a security move, or the start of a much bigger economic squeeze? If more than 5,000 Shia families are being sent home empty-handed just as Iran talks approach a critical phase, is someone trying to punish Pakistan's balancing act before the next round even begins? So is Pakistan's headline victory in brokering a U.S. Iran ceasefire actually what triggered this quiet UAE crackdown, turning diplomatic success into a domestic political nightmare? Pakistan's carefully built image as an honest broker between Iran and the West is taking a hit, as reports of mass deportations from the UAE dominate headlines and social feeds. According to regional reporting, UAE authorities have detained and deported thousands of Pakistani workers in recent weeks, many with little warning or explanation. Those same reports suggest that as many as 5,000 Shia Pakistani families may have been caught up in the expulsion campaign, turning a labor issue into a sectarian flashpoint. The UAE has not publicly confirmed allegations that the deportations are sectarian or targeted, leaving a gap between official silence and the testimonies emerging from returnees. The row reportedly erupted only weeks after Pakistan helped broker a U.S.-Iran ceasefire, prompting questions about whether its diplomacy has unsettled some Gulf partners. Reports have credited Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and Army Chief Asim Munir with facilitating sensitive backchannel contacts that kept the ceasefire talks alive. Observers say the deportation wave appears to have accelerated after the April ceasefire announcement, feeding suspicions that Islamabad's Iran outreach may have become a quiet irritant in the Gulf. Analysts now suspect several Gulf states view Pakistan's Iran outreach with deep wariness, worrying that mediation could blur the lines of old security understandings. Deportees say authorities seem to single out those perceived as Shia Muslims, raising fears that a security drive has effectively turned into a sectarian purge. Some returnees report being questioned in detail about their religious practices and alleged sympathies toward Iran, suggesting investigators were probing more than just visa issues. Religious leaders now estimate that roughly 5,000 Shia families may have been affected, a figure that amplifies anger inside Pakistan's already polarized domestic politics. Sudden arrests reportedly took place at malls, job sites, homes, and even transport hubs, often carried out by plainclothes officers who offered little explanation on the spot. Phones were allegedly seized immediately, cutting off access to lawyers, relatives, and consular help at the very moment detainees needed them most. Many detainees describe being moved from local jails to larger holding centers near Jebel Ali and Alawar, where crowding and confusion made it hard to track who was going where. Some accounts speak of sleep deprivation, strip searches, constant filming, and threats of online shaming, creating a climate of fear even before deportation orders were executed. Roughly 2 million Pakistanis work in the UAE, sending back more than $8 billion a year in remittances, money that keeps families afloat and Islamabad's foreign reserves from running dry. Those remittances are vital not just for Pakistan's reserves and debt payments, but for everyday survival, paying for school fees, food, healthcare, and rent for millions back home. Analysts warn that if the row widens or spreads to other Gulf states, it could shake Pakistan's already fragile economy and undermine one of its last reliable foreign currency lifelines. The UAE's crackdown comes as Gulf governments intensify efforts to track, disrupt, and expel any networks they believe are linked to Iran's Revolutionary Guard across the region. On April 20th, the UAE announced the arrests of a separate alleged Iran-linked network on its own soil, underlining how security fears after the Iran war are now shaping policy toward entire communities. Emirati authorities said the group had pledged loyalty to unnamed foreign entities, implying ideological or operational alignment with forces beyond the UAE's borders. The UAE framed those activities as a threat to national unity and social stability, echoing Bahrain's argument that Iran-linked cells undermine internal cohesion. All of this follows reports of a fresh Iranian attack targeting the UAE on May 4th, a strike that likely hardened Gulf rulers resolved to go after any suspected local sympathizers. A suicide bombing in northwestern Pakistan killed at least 15 police officers on May 9th, in an attack that has reignited security concerns in the region. The attack took place in Banu, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, a volatile area bordering Afghanistan, according to officials quoted by the Associated Press. Officials said the bomber rammed an explosives-laden vehicle into a police security checkpoint, using the car itself as a delivery system for the blast. A massive explosion destroyed large sections of the post and damaged several nearby residential homes, sending shockwaves through the surrounding neighborhood. After the detonation, armed militants stormed the area and opened fire on the already weakened police force, turning the site into an active combat zone. Loud explosions were heard as a prolonged gun battle erupted between the militants and security forces, with both sides trading fire throughout the immediate vicinity. Another official told Reuters that additional security teams rushed to the checkpoint after the bombing to reinforce the defenders and secure the perimeter. However, these reinforcements were reportedly ambushed en route, with gunmen firing from concealed positions and causing further casualties. Police also claimed the attackers used drones during the operation, highlighting increasingly sophisticated tactics by militant groups operating in the region. The militant alliance Ittihad ul-Mujahideen is reported to have claimed responsibility for the operation, positioning it as part of its broader campaign against state forces.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HT videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.